Right.
Yes.
No, I know we're going to come back in just a moment, but before we go out, I do have a quick question.
Yes.
Do men and women have different ideas on happiness?
Oh.
Do you think, or is it kind of universal?
Well, I think men get in a mode of acquiring.
Stuff. If you have the stuff, you're okay. You're happy.
Yes, and yes, the more toys I have, the quote happier I will be.
I like toys too.
Well, Kelly, you can have the toys too. We just realized at some point it doesn't work.
Right.
But for women, what's their
for women?
main drive or
Well,
source of
I
happiness?
think that one of the motivating needs is the security and to have certain things. I think with women, we've got to run into the danger. Our culture teaches us to compare. And as long as we're comparing, we're going to feel inferior. And so
That's a big one.
that's a big one.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's true.
And really, the number of people that have been helped by just understanding happiness versus contentment, happiness versus joy,
Sure.
and God's purpose and will. But especially, you brought up, this day and hour in which we're
Yeah.
living with the economic and financial woes
Yes.
and struggles,
Yes.
joblessness at an all-time high
Yes.
or close to it, and you said domestic violence is on the rise.
Yes.
How do we navigate these waters?
Well, we need to just let's be, honest and say these are stressful times. We can't ignore that. Let's say it is. But I think in our relationships, we want to make a decision. No matter what, if I've lost my job and things are stressful, I'm not going to allow it to create division in our relationships. It's really easy to step into blame. Well, or to feel like if I would have only done this or this, that I wouldn't have been laid off. And you get into self-blame. What we have to do, particularly if we're married, be careful about the words you speak over your spouse during these times, because it's really easy to get into a spirit of blame, and with it comes that spirit of blame comes a real criticalness.
Yeah.
And it's hard, we'll feel oppressed from that. But we need to acknowledge, yes, delicate times for many. I understand that. But we're going to walk by faith, and maybe we're going to enrich our relationships versus allow it to take away. I know that can be a challenge. It's a big one.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you also mentioned 3 deadly
Oh,
emotions
yes,
that
yes.
we really need to stay away from.
Okay, 3 deadly emotions. Make it real simple. There's anger, fear, and guilt. Okay, if we're going to be a healthy human being and live with happiness, we've got to figure out, what am I going to do with anger in my life? I can't store it up. I can't let it turn into bitterness. The scriptures say I can't let it turn into malice, where I wish evil intent on people. Okay, so I got to figure out
So what do you do with it?
Yeah.
With anger?
Yeah.
Well, one of the things is with anger, and this is men and women do deal with anger differently. And another word for anger is hurt. Where are the hurts I'm carrying? Am I still carrying a big suitcase full of baggage from the past, and I'm bringing that into all my present relationships? Okay, do I have unforgiveness? And that's a big one. Am I a person that carries a lot of offenses? And I'm irritable all the time. I'm
Take things personally all the time.
oh yeah, I'm hyper vigilant and I misread people's motives. Okay, so the anger is a big one. We mentioned guilt. There's 2 kinds of guilt, basically. True guilt means you really did screw up, you need to correct things, right? And then there's false guilt. Some people grew up in a home where they just constantly had a lot of false guilt piled on them. They just feel like, man, I'm slimed with guilt.
Yeah.
And you do guilt really well. You carry other people's guilt. And then there's fear. Another heading for fear could be worry. Worry is mental. Okay, but if I take worry and keep recycling it, it moves to the next one, which is anxiety. Anxiety is, I feel sweaty palms, I feel it in my stomach.
So it's got some physical
Anxiety has the
connections there.
physical component.
Well, how do you get rid of fear, especially nowadays, like you were saying, with the economy the way it is? People are still worried, am I going to lose my home? Am I going to lose my job? What's going to happen in the future?
Well, I got to be, what foundation am I standing on? First of all, I've got to go back to, 2 Timothy 1:7 says that God hasn't given me a spirit of fear. So fear is actually being called a spirit of fear. So what am I taking on? Because fear will paralyze us, and fear stops us from growing. Fear causes us to move into depression. And so you think about it, a great tool of the enemy is to paralyze us.
Yeah.
And that's what fear will do. And so where am I renewing my mind? And I understand that fear can be very, very real. I have a situation of a very successful person that right now feels like they've ruined their life and they will not get out of bed. Okay, fear and panic. So it can get a stronghold in our lives. That's why I talk a lot about it in the book.
Right. Now, you say that optimism is
Yes.
a big key to happiness.
Sure.
So what's optimism?
Can I talk about optimism?
Yes.
Oh, good. I'm glad we're on a positive. Sure. Optimism means that I have hope. Optimism means that I can walk courageously into the future. If I'm an optimistic person, it means, Kelly, that I believe God has a plan for me, and I'm not just living in this present day. I have a hope and a future.
You're looking at a future.
Yeah. Our theme verse is Jeremiah 29:11, a hope and a future. That's true for all of us. Interesting study was done on optimism with men. They studied men over a long period of time, and men didn't know what they were being studied for, but they were being measured for optimism. They found out that men who scored higher in optimism had fewer health problems, lived longer, and reported having happier relationships.
Wow.
So let's be optimistic.
Yeah, might as well, right?
Yeah.
Now, you know, one of the biggest things, and matter of fact, as I was watching the news this morning,
Yes.
I saw so many commercials for depression, drugs
Oh, yes,
for depression.
yes. Yeah.
Now, is that something that you think can be avoided, or is there ever a time that something like
when's the
that is
time for
needed?
that? Yeah.
Oh, about medications?
Yeah.
Well, I'm very much for the whole person. So whole person means I'm going to look at, is there some relationships that are toxic that are making me depressed? Is there something in my physiology, something in my nutrition? I need to look at the whole person. Do I have unforgiveness in my life that's making me toxic and I'm depressed because of it? Or do I have some chemical imbalances in my brain that need to be supported? You know, where we use medications. We just want to do whatever's in the best interest.
Right.
But we want to look at the whole
The
person.
whole
That's a good,
person.
yeah,
So there's
holistic
no
approach.
cookie cutter or
There's a lot of different
default
reasons.
position for how to deal with
No,
depression.
you know, even nutrient deficiencies can create depression. And so that's why we've got to look at the whole person. But here's the good news. For depression, there's always a missing piece to the puzzle. It doesn't matter how long you've struggled with it. The missing piece to the puzzle. I think we need to pray for discernment. Help me, Lord, to find the missing piece or pieces to
Right.
the puzzle.
Right.
Yeah.
And then when that comes together, you can
Yeah,
be on the road to
We believe that, yes.
to
yes,
healthy
yes.
living.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really quickly, you mentioned 4 steps to contentment. What are those steps?
Well, I think we've covered some of those pretty well by, when we talk about contentment, we've got to make sure we're not on any of those detours,
Right.
that we're poisoning our present and our future, okay, the detour, worry, anxiety, and so forth. But I need to look at the health of my contentment, look at my relationships. What am I doing to grow in my relationships, to bring people into my life that can say, I believe in you, Greg. I believe in you. Contentment's going to come, it's an inner knowing I have a purpose, okay? And, you know, I struggled with that for a while, just trying to figure out, am I even doing the right thing?
Right.
Yeah.
I really did. And I find it just had to, okay, I'm going to stand with what I know is my calling and be true to it. So when we have contentment, one of the steps is understanding that you do have a calling, you do have a purpose, and we need to look at the relationships that we have in our life, and are we growing them? So those are just a few thoughts.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, Dr. Greg, good to have you with us today,
Yes.
and really appreciate the whole view here. That it's spiritual, it's
It's the whole
emotional,
person.
it's
Yes.
the whole person, and it begins with that relationship with God, relationship with others.
Yeah.
And if you're struggling today with
Yes.
an area of depression, if you're struggling with anxiety, fear, if you're struggling with anger, unforgiveness,
Yes.
we want to connect with you. Our prayer line is available. We've got people right now that are ready to hear what you've got to say, ready to go to the Word of God together with you, and ready to pray and watch God work in your life. And if you'd like to connect with Dr. Greg, you can visit us online at harvest-tv.com. Click on Show Info. In the menu bar, you'll find an easy way to link right back to his website, as well as an easy way to pick up a copy of Happy for the Rest of Your Life for yourself or for your loved one. The Harvest Show will be back in just a minute.